Hi, Shotties! I'm Raaga.
And I'm Jia, and welcome to
Espresso Shot, a podcast from a Desi lens discussing anything and everything from mental health to coffee.
We hope y'all are having a beautiful day. Raaga, what are you drinking today?
Okay, I tried something new because this week Starbucks released their holiday favorites.
I did not know that it was this week.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. I got a notification on my app. But I honestly haven't gone to Starbucks in a couple months, but I was like, I'm gonna go for the cups. So today
The cups are so cute.
They're so cute. They have like little Christmas trees. I've already watched my first Christmas movie, by the way.
Aww.
It's yeah.
Getting ready for Christmas.
My lobby's playing Christmas music.
Oh.
It's here. But I got a chestnut praline latte.
Mm-hmm.
We've switched into hot drinks. I haven't gotten a cold drink in a while. And it has only 3 pumps of the syrup, whatever it is they use, and then 4 shots of espresso and oat milk.
4 shots of espresso.
Is
this just like a different version of a quad shot?
No, yeah. Everything I do is a quad shot. It's terrible.
No.
I know. But yeah. Jia, what are you drinking?
Water. Because my stomach has been hurting. Yeah.
Aww.
But honestly, might just get a coffee anyways. I might get what you got because I actually really like it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I realized like I don't have the Starbucks app and I need it because why don't I have it? Why do I keep
Exactly.
spending money? I don't get Starbucks that often. I like Lucky Lab a lot.
Yes, me too.
For those of you who don't go to UT, Lucky Lab is a coffee shop on campus, but now there's like 6 locations on campus. And so it's like really convenient and I like their coffee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alright. Cool. Alright, so let's get into the milk and cream of this episode. Today's episode is about gratitude and mindfulness.
Yes. Okay, I'm so excited for this episode. But before we get into it, I think we should define what mindfulness is. And the Oxford Dictionary defines it as the quality of being conscious or aware of something. And I feel like so I basically got into mindfulness this summer and found out that there's a difference between mindfulness and meditation, but they also overlap a little bit. Meditation is like a more formal practice of mindfulness, and like there's other acts of like just being more intentional when you do day-to-day tasks that would qualify under like the informal mindfulness category. So like when you're walking outside, like really trying to be present and being like, oh my gosh, like the weather is so nice, like my feet are on the ground, I'm like breathing in this fresh air instead of just like zoning out and walking. Mm-hmm. So that would be like your informal practice, but again, formal is like meditation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, that's just a little bit about what mindfulness is and how it relates to meditation. But Raaga, I wanted to kind of hear about like what has your experience with meditation and mindfulness been?
Okay. Alright, so meditation, I think weirdly I can talk more about just because I know that mindfulness, I think everyone is connected to mindfulness in some way, but you just don't realize it because it's, you're just like conscious of things and you're just living more intentionally, but in the moment you're not going to be like, oh, I'm being mindful. But yeah, so I think for me, like meditation is something that I can identify more clearly as like how it's affected my life. But my dad is big on meditation. Like he's every single day, like for the past few years, he's been meditating, and
that's commitment.
It is commitment. It was crazy. I remember in the beginning I used to make fun of him because he downloaded an app for it and he listened to this weird lady talk, and I was like, why? How is this helping me? He would like listen to it while he was about to go to sleep, or he would take some time apart at the end of his day, like right before dinner or after a run or something, and he would just meditate alone in a room. But the thing is, I could notice the difference in how he approached things. I feel like at one point, like he was very like, not anxious, but like we have to get things done, like very task oriented, but he started to become more about the process, like how do you get there, how do you get something done, like is it the best way, is it affecting you as a person, But it definitely picked up once we were in for COVID. That's when he started to do it a lot more, I guess, like, consecutively, like every day he would do it, more intentional about it. But he started at, I think, he was like 1 minute of meditation is enough. If you can clear your mind for a minute, that can do wonders.
Yeah.
Started there, and he worked up to, I think, like 30 or 45 minutes where he was just like blank slate.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
That's a lot of time to just sit there and do
Yeah,
nothing. Like,
it's
that's like a
insane.
Gilmore Girls episode.
No, it is. Wait, that's so funny. I was watching
They're
Gilmore
always
Girls
45
this
minutes
morning.
long.
Yeah, but he was able to do it for a very long time, which is, you know, it like really speaks to, it's like a practice. You have to build on it. You can't just get it on the first try, which is why I think I was discouraged a lot. I tried it for a few months, and I started to feel the effects around 3 or 4 months, where I was like, I worked up to like 10 minutes. 10 minutes was like a solid amount of time where I was like, I can clear my head and it's fine. And you feel really good after it too.
Yeah.
Like you're just, everything seems more clear. But then I was like, oh, I got it. It's fine. I don't have to do it every day now.
Yeah.
And then you give up on it. But I'd hear all of my parents' friends talking about it, and that's what got me into it mainly. They would talk about how they would meditate, and then they would get to a point, this was like years in or something, but they'd be like, I had like an out-of-body experience, or I just, like, I don't know, like I was having a crisis in life and just everything fit together. It's like I was hearing things from somewhere else, and I was like, you just have so much clarity, and I would love that. Yeah.
That's really interesting that you've been like surrounded by it, especially in your own family. Do you think that it's something that you want to get back into, or something that you think you want to like start getting into again, being in college?
Yeah, I think so. It was always tied to something else in my routine. Like it was easier when we were inside our house.
Yeah, it's easier over the summer when you don't have to like worry about school.
Exactly, yeah. So I think I started doing stuff during the pandemic. So I wake up and then I did yoga every morning, and then right after yoga, you're not supposed to get up for like 10 minutes. You're supposed to lie flat.
Yeah.
And so during that, it would be like meditation time. So I was like, oh, I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
It's great. So I'd do it every day, and it was great. And then once I got here, I was like, let's just take a break and start to feel things out, use what I've learned, which I think the break was necessary. But then now I'm like, oh, I just want to get back into it. Like, I miss it. So I've been trying, but I think, you know, when you're in college, like, your schedule's so unpredictable. You don't know how late you're going to be up or if you're going to be working and all that. Yeah. But also, like, I still want to do it. I still really, really want to get back into it. But yeah, definitely a goal, which is very interesting. I actually had a class this semester called Design for Healing. And I thought it would be about like health-related things and more like medical processes, but the entire class is about mindfulness and using a creative practice to heal yourself. It was so cool. We would do little meditations through class, because our class was 3 hours long, so it would be like tiny little meditations or stuff like that. It was very interesting.
Wait, is that this semester, or was that last semester?
This semester.
This semester.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were taking that. That's very cool. Yeah. That's really nice, because it like structures time in your week.
Yeah.
Or how many times do you have this class?
It was once a week.
Once a week.
Mondays too, so I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like your experience with meditation and your family and everything, but you've also had a really interesting experience. Was it a few weeks ago with a tarot reader?
Yeah, okay, this was kind of crazy. The second it happened, I texted Jia about it. I was like, Jia, you won't believe this. But I was having a very weird week. I was having a week where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I was like, I feel like I'm not doing everything right. I'm doing like 20% of everything, which I think is a very common theme this semester. Like, this is sophomore year is like the year where you start taking things on.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like I feel like I'm not giving 100%. And then I was going to SoCo to just work and sit in a coffee shop and just grind everything out for the week. I was like, it's a Wednesday, like I can't. So I decided to take the day to just be by myself and work. And so I get there, and I got off the bus, and the bus stop is across from Amy's. And so I was like, you know what? It's been a rough couple of weeks. I think I deserve to eat some ice cream.
Yeah.
So I went there, got myself some strawberry ice cream.
Yum.
I never had strawberry. I was like, I'm just feeling it. But it was
Yeah.
like the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
This is back when the weather was like 97 degrees.
It was like hot.
It was horrible.
It's cooling down now, which is
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, I'm wearing a sweater right now. So
Oh,
yeah, it's good.
Oh, it's so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. It was like ice cream.
Yeah, so I got ice cream, and I was trying to find a new coffee shop because the one I wanted to go to was closed. And so I start walking, but me being Google Maps challenged, I went the wrong direction. And I started going behind the Amy's into an alleyway, which I should have known. But I was still like, no, this is a shortcut. And so I was walking back down when I realized I was wrong, and I ran into a tarot card reader with her little setup.
Mm-hmm. Was this like a shop, or was she just like outside on a...
She had a little cart. She actually told me about it too.
Yeah.
So she was looking for something to do, or like somewhere to do her tarot practice, and someone was selling a cart online. It was an old taco cart, and she was like, "It's a sign," and so she bought it. It was like tacos was crossed out.
Oh my god.
It was really cute.
That's really cute.
Yeah, but it was on like a tiny little cart, like the kind where they push it around. And she was set up right next to the Amy's, like in the corner. And I walked past her at first because I was like, no, I just spent money on ice cream. I can't do this. But then I was like, this might be like a good opportunity to just do something fun.
Yeah.
So I sat down, I was talking to her. She was giving me a really good reading about just where I am in like my career and life, and just that like it was really nice actually. She was telling me a lot of me specific things, but then she was telling me things that are very specific to anybody. She was like, you're loved no matter what you do. Like you're always on the right path no matter what you do, because you're just exactly where you need to be at any given point in time.
Yeah.
So don't be hard on yourself, because you're gonna make it where you want to go. And she was very reassuring. And she said something very interesting. She was like, you're gonna get where you want to go, but it's important that you take the time to set yourself up for that success.
Ooh.
So she was like, right now, take a break from everything. Just find out more about yourself. And one way to do that, she said, that is to express more gratitude for what you have. And she said something that hit different. She was like, gratitude is a muscle. And I never thought of it that way. I was like, sometimes you feel like you're thankful, and other times you have nothing to be thankful about.
Yeah. I feel like especially, being in college where you're so stressed, and then there's so much on top of that, not just like classes, it's like friend problems, relationship problems, like things adding up. Then you start to be like, I have nothing to be thankful for, like everything is falling apart, like you're over magnifying where you are. And you're saying that everything sucks, but then you have to take a step back and be like, wait, no, I have so much.
Yeah.
But also, it's really interesting, because I think you texted me about this tarot reading, but you didn't tell me about the gratitude thing. Yeah. And so when Raaga and I decided to like do another episode, gratitude was like something that was on my mind. And it's funny that like it was also connected to the situation. I didn't know it was.
It's really weird. I didn't like remember it when I was texting you.
Yeah.
I remembered everything else she said. And then I woke up the next morning and I was just thinking, and I was like, that's such a weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
And it randomly popped into my head. I was like, gratitude is a muscle. You have to practice it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be hard, because I feel like when we're taught gratitude for reasons that just, they don't do what they're supposed to anymore.
Yeah. I think especially like with the TikTok, like gratitude and like the quote unquote spirituality TikToks.
Yeah.
It's very much like being gratitude so you get something in return. It's very transactional.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of gratitude. It's to the point of like, why am I blanking on words? Being like the whole reason to be grateful for things. For some reason I couldn't remember the word grateful. The whole reason to be grateful for things is just to feel more fulfilled in your own life, regardless of where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool that like, this tarot reader kind of pointed it out, because I never thought about gratitude as a muscle. I've always thought about like meditation as a muscle, because it's something that you have to practice to get better. But there's also a lot of consistency that goes into like being grateful for things before you like really start to feel better about where you are, even when things get hard.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think it's very easy to get into black and white thinking, where it's like everything is good or everything is bad, but you can be grateful for like the gray area too.
Yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, I think
in the notes Raaga said like you can't be bad at like gratitude.
Yeah, honestly, you can't be bad at any of this. Gratitude, mindfulness, because it's so specific to you. There's no right way to do it.
Right.
It's just if you feel like you're heading where you're supposed to be heading and not trying to go where other people want you to be, then you're exactly doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But that does take practice.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've been talking a lot about
No, I love hearing you talk.
But I want to hear more about you and your experience.
Okay, so my experience with mindfulness and meditation has been very on and off. I think I first got into it my sophomore year of high school, and I downloaded the Headspace app, and I would come home from school, eat a lot of food, watch some Netflix, and then I think I would like work out and then do like my Headspace meditation. And that was always the routine I would do. And I would always start every morning just by like doing little affirmations as I'm getting ready. It wasn't like I was following like a video or anything. I was just telling myself things that I know I needed to hear. Like, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am talented, I'm hardworking. And so I just always start my day like that. And I feel like affirmations are also a form of mindfulness. Just like putting that energy back into yourself and really like focusing on what you have. Because I am beautiful, I am smart, I am talented and hardworking. But if I don't always tell myself that, I will forget. And I will get caught up in the, I'm not good at this, or I could be better at something else. Like I've always been someone who's been very hard on myself, and if I don't make the space for me to be like mindful in the form of affirmations, then that does affect me. And so I kind of got into it. I was like, wow, like I'm doing really well. And I think that's part of the reason my sophomore year of high school was my favorite year of high school, because I was just so happy with how I felt. And then junior year of high school hit, things got busy, like as it does for everyone junior year. And I kind of fell out of it. But then this past summer, I kind of got back into it again. I kind of had this whole realization that like I don't know who I am outside of school, as in like my major or like classes and orgs. Like I don't know who I am. Like I don't have hobbies, or I don't have interests that are so specific and things that truly fulfill me. And so I went to Half Price Books with my friend Mally, who I've talked about so many times on this podcast. And Mally is someone who always does things very intentionally. Like we were walking through the Half Price Books, and I remember the first time we went to a bookstore together, she told me that she loves like walking by the books and just like touching them, because someone spent their entire life like dedicated to a book.
That's so sweet.
Right? Aww. And like some of them just get left on the shelf. And just to, like for a book to be touched, like that's like a tribute to the author in a way. And I love the way her mind works.
I'm gonna tear up.
Like I love Mally, and I love the way she thinks, and that's in itself is that in itself is a form of mindfulness. And I was kind of like wanting to get back into it. So I got a few books which I have with me here today, even though y'all are listening to it and you can't see it. But one of them is like a intention journal, where like I'm showing Raaga right now, by the way, for everyone listening. And I write down like, it asks you questions like, how did you take care of yourself today? A good thing that happened was, something you're grateful for, summarize today in one word, what's your intention for tomorrow, why is this important to you, how will you embody it? And then there's also like cute little quotes along the way. Like one of the quotes that I literally just flipped to is, I intend to fill my days with creativity and passion, which I feel like is something that both Raaga and I need to hear right now.
That's true.
And another book that I got that really spoke to me, I opened the table of contents. By the way, this book that I'm about to talk about is Mindfulness by Tessa Watt. And the table of contents was like really speaking to me. Like it goes like introduction, chapter two, what is mindfulness, 3, why, 4, space, 5, breath, 6, brushing your teeth, 7, body, 8, attitude, 9, feet, 10, reacting, 11, movement, 12, sound, 13, sensation. So like those are the 13 chapters of the book. But the one thing that like really stood out to me when I was going through the table of contents was brushing your teeth.
I've heard about this chapter. Very interestingly, this book has been referenced in most books that I've read.
Really?
Very odd.
That's
Everyone
so
brings up
funny.
the brushing your teeth chapter.
Yeah.
But yes, tell me about it.
So this chapter basically talks about how we see so much of our lives as like chores, or like brushing your teeth in the morning, which is like a mundane task, right? Hopefully everyone does it 2 times a day. And it's like, it's so easy to like zone out when you're brushing your teeth because you're tired, or you're like dreading the day ahead, or you're tired and you just want to go to sleep. But this chapter talks about like, think about brushing each tooth like individually. Take the time to like tell yourself, I'm brushing my teeth. Yeah. I'm brushing this tooth. And it's just like such a powerful way to start your day. And I haven't been mindful about brushing my teeth, and it's something that I do want to get back into because it's so small. Like it's so easy for people to say like, I don't have time for meditation. And to be honest, I say that all the time. Yeah. Like, I don't have time for meditation, I don't have time to journal, or I don't have time to be mindful. But this is literally like worked into your routine. Like you definitely have time to be mindful. It's just something that you have to practice, just like everything. Like Raaga said, it's a mindfulness and meditation, it's a muscle, and you gotta use it to get stronger.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, that is all we have for you guys today, Shotties. But before we go, Jia, how do you think today's episode went?
I think it went really well. I know a few of y'all know this because I've kind of talked to my friends about this, but the last episode we tried to record, Raaga and I were having like such a hard time like staying in it. Like we kept like forgetting what we were saying halfway through, and like we were so tired.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle, but I feel like this episode, like things felt like they flowed really well. Yeah. And another thing that I wanted to stress before we finish wrapping it up is, we are not perfect. Like we're also still figuring out the hang of why did I always say medication? Meditation and mindfulness. And like we would love to hear some of y'all's experiences as well. Yeah. But anyways, Raaga, how do you think today's episode went?
I think it went well too. I remember last episode.
Yeah.
It was such a struggle.
It was a struggle.
For starters, I think I was on water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So weird. But I am very happy with today's episode, and I think we talked about something very relevant in our lives.
I agree.
Lately. So yeah, it all came together very well.
It did.
And we don't do this as often as we would like.
Yes.
But I think it is something that we both needed.
I agree.
So
it's one of those things where it's hard to like make the time to like consistently do podcast episodes, but also creativity doesn't always strike on a schedule.
Yeah.
Like I was just thinking this weekend, I was like, oh my gosh, mindfulness would be the perfect episode.
Yeah.
And then I like reached out to Raaga, and I honestly like I'd rather have quality episodes over quantity.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it's nice to do something where you're not holding yourself to a standard.
Right.
So
I agree.
this is good. And yeah, just to like reiterate what Jia said, we are not at all perfect.
Yeah.
But I think that it's something that we are learning,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to share with you guys. And we do want to hear more from y'all about how your journey with mindfulness is going as well.
Yes.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing okay?
Yes, I
Yes.
am doing okay. The caffeine just hit
Caffeine
a little
hit
too
you?
much. I'm at the end of it, so it's
Oh.
strong.
Everyone, like, please get what Raaga got. Like,
Yes.
it's so good.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
Alright,
yeah.
that is all we have. So make sure to follow us on Instagram. We are espresso_shotties, SHOTTIES.
And follow us on Spotify if you're not already. That's at Espresso Shot. And we hope you have a beautiful day. Bye, Shotties.
Bye.